Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. Now, of course, you watched on Saturday night as Kentucky got a big-time win over 14th-ranked Mississippi State at Kroger Field. But I wanted to take a minute before we start looking ahead to next week to appreciate what has happened and what's potentially on the plate for Kentucky football. Let's start with that victory. I've been to a lot of games at Kroger Field, and so have you. But I don't know that I've ever seen Kentucky physically dominate a team like they did against Mississippi State, a quality opponent. We've seen Kentucky get big wins. Think about 07 against Louisville, 07 against LSU. Couch beat Alabama. But in some ways, those wins were almost a little bit, I don't want to say fluky, but it required us to make big plays and to play above our heads. But this wasn't one of those games. Kentucky was simply the better team. They crushed them on both sides of the ball. They held Mississippi State, a great rushing team, to just 58 yards. And Benny Snell had 165 yards and was electric. And with that win, Kentucky became 2-0 in the SEC. Now let's talk about how rare that is. I'm 40 years old. In my lifetime, that had never happened before, ever. Kentucky hasn't been 2-0 since 1977, but now they are. And they've done it by beating not only a Florida team that had 31 straight victories, but a ranked Mississippi State team that had beaten them 8 of the last 9. So now all that's left is to look ahead. And I have to say, we are on the midst of a potential very special team. Let's take a look at Kentucky's schedule. They play South Carolina on Saturday. The game's going to be at night, and I think Commonwealth Stadium, Kroger Field, whatever you want to call it, will be absolutely crazy. We've beaten South Carolina 4 straight games. They've started this season struggling a little bit, and I think Kentucky has a chance to come out and make a big statement early. If they win, they get to 5-0 and basically have all but clinched a bowl bid. But look at the rest of the schedule and see what's to come. They go to A&M the next week. Now, we haven't played at A&M ever, and it will be a very difficult environment. A&M's only lost 2 games, and it's to Clemson and Alabama. But it's almost like a free money game, because after that game in the bye week come a lot of games that Kentucky can win. At Missouri, Vandy at home. Those don't look that difficult. And how about Tennessee and Louisville, our 2 rivals that look absolutely pathetic? Those are road games at the beginning of the year that may have seemed like potential underdog games, but not now. Both of those teams are struggling, and there's no reason to believe Kentucky can't win. So if they can keep playing like they've played and only lose 1 game between now and November 3rd, that means that game at Georgia could be for a chance to go to the SEC championship. I want you to think about that for a second. November 3rd, right before the Kentucky-Duke tip-off to basketball, could be the biggest game in modern Kentucky football history. It would probably be on CBS, it would probably be nationally televised, and potentially College game day in the house. It's almost too exciting to even think about. I mean, this is a Kentucky football team that just 6 years ago had back-to-back 2-win seasons. But now, not only are they good, they're looking at a possible dream year. I used to think that it was impossible to believe that Kentucky could actually go to the SEC championship. And make no mistake, beating Georgia would be a huge task and is probably very difficult. But now we can actually dream about it, and it could be a reality. You know, I heard a saying once, the one problem in life is that sometimes the good old days, you don't realize you're going through them until after they're done. Well, when it comes to Kentucky football, this season, with all the seniors, the great play from Benny Snell, and the crowd, these are the good old days, and I hope we appreciate it while we're in them.